Welcome to the Collector Cave, and today we have something special that's invaded the cave. In fact, the cave has been turned into a castle for today because Mezco 1/12 Collective Doctor Doom figure has finally arrived. It couldn't have come at a better time. Today is 1/12th day for Mezco. It's the day where they give away free figures every year, posting a picture or just a comment in their thread on Instagram. But Doctor Doom, I've been talking about this in some of my videos. I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. I have a review up of those figures. And Doctor Doom, I personally direct messaged Mezco many times on Instagram and wherever else, asking for a Doom figure for years. And then they finally delivered. And this is probably my biggest holy grail figure from Mezco ever. Doctor Doom is my favorite Marvel villain, and as a huge Fantastic Four fan, this is just, I'm so excited right now. So here's the cover box. Now it's not tin. It'd be awesome if it was a tin box, but it's not. But that's okay. This is a nice cover here, almost very Kirby-esque. Jack Kirby, did a lot of drawings of Doom in the 60s, 70s, and beyond. But this looks very much like that. And with the Fantastic Four release, Mezco did very classic look, and the same thing here is with Doom. So I'm going to move this box and show you something special. So this is a diorama I made about 3 years ago. Castle Doom, Doomstot, if you will. And it was all hand scratch built. I made it for when the Marvel Legends Doom came out. I couldn't wait for a Doom figure, and I was really heavy into toy photography on Instagram, which I have linked to this YouTube account if you want to check my stuff out. But like early 2020, I think January and February, I built this thing. And I took a lot of shots with the Hasbro Doom. So I've since moved, and this thing's been packed away for about 2 years. So last night, when I knew this figure was coming, I frantically found where all the stuff was at, in boxes, pulled it out, assembled it, and it's still in great order. Just kind of showing you guys a little bit of some of this stuff and again, everything's handmade, except for this, the chair and that eagle came with an old Doom figure. But everything else, the banners, I have knights back there, all this stuff is made from scratch. So it's made for some cool pictures. So I thought it'd be cool, instead of using the cave, today, that we use Castle Doom as our space for reviewing Doctor Doom. So if I turn this around here, on the back, you're greeted with all the stuff this figure comes with. And this figure wasn't cheap. I believe he was $155 on the Mezco site. And of course, I think he's on wait list right now. He is available on BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store, if you want to still get him. I watched a couple reviews on YouTube. Some people had some complaints. I've looked at him briefly. So far, I have 0 complaints. I'm extremely happy. But this is all the stuff he comes with. He has this cosmic power siphon harness, which we'll get into, talk about that. That's from the 60s. And then all these different effects. So a lot of cool stuff, multiple heads, and then multiple faceplates. So let's get this guy open and take a look at him. Okay, so every Mezco 1/12 collective figure comes with this inside, pretty much telling you that this is not for kids. It's for ages 18 and up. So these are adult products. So if you're under 18, you can't purchase these. They're collector items, not technically toys. And then he comes with a bunch of directions. There's quite a bit going on here with this figure. This power siphon device, harness, whatever, if you will. It's kind of particular how you put it on, so it kind of gives you directions for that. It shows you the blast effect piece for his pistol, some HUD stuff that goes on, projection for the cosmic siphon, and then some effect pieces for spells and things like that. And then for hands, he has electrical blasts, things like that. And then there's a clip to kind of hold the book up, which is kind of neat. We'll show you that. And then some boost effects that can go on his feet or on his back with these items. And then there's the extra belt, holster, and pouch that he comes with. So quite a bit. And let's go ahead and take a look at him now. To go down here, So there's Doom. Comes with that mask on right there. And then he has a bunch of hands, a whole bunch of different types of hands. 3 metal masks, 2 head sculpts. There's the belt, the holster. And the holster's got some work done on it there. Inscription, painted gold. And there's his pistol, like a Luger type pistol, which of course is more powerful and not just a normal pistol like you see in World War II. It's more of a scientific development by him. And then his book, which has real pages and a real lock to close it. And then this is the little clear plastic thing to kind of have the book like it's hovering. And then effect pieces for his feet or for his back, boosters. And the second tray has, of course, the display base, which is really cool. It says Dr. Doom with a lighter green. And then there's like a effect piece for like a spell. And then the power siphon, cosmic power siphon harness. And then all of these effect pieces. And these purple ones, the electrical ones, actually have hands connected to them, which I love when Mezco does that. It makes it easier to connect all the pieces. And then there's batteries too for this power siphon because it does light up. So let's get all this stuff out and take a look at them. All right, and this is everything he comes with. It is a lot of stuff. So more detail here. There's the Doom base. Cool different color green compared to what he's wearing. He has a darker green color there, so this is really neat. The flight stand, a 1/12 collective bag to hold the accessories, which I don't think this bag can hold all of this, maybe. There's that effect piece for like some type of like spell or something. Electrical hands, blue electricity. The book, which opens, and we'll show you that. It opens, and there's actually pages in it with a little bookmark. And then this little clear piece, which you can have to put the book in there to make it look like he's holding the book and it's levitating. And then a bunch of different hands, all different types of hands. And then some effects for the pistol, for his finger, for his boosters, for his feet, and then another blast right here that comes out of his hand, a specific hand for this one. And then there is his belt, a pouch right there, goes inside, can hook onto either belt. There's a gun holster that hooks on either belt. And this is the second holster. You can put the pouch there and the holster down there if you want. There's the pistol. And then here's the other masks you get. The one on the left is kind of more of a modern look. And then the one in the middle is kind of a mad look. And then you have this other head sculpt, which I picked this up. This is metal. This is all metal. And then this is like the scarred Victor head sculpt. And I believe the masks just kind of like friction fit on either head sculpt. They're not magnetic. So that concerns me a little bit down the road, but we'll see. And then here's Doom standing on his throne. If I can sit down here and take a look at this. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And the figure, it says it has metal parts. If you look at the, when you go to buy him on the website. And he's really heavy. There's a lot of die cast in this figure. His chest is die cast. His torso is die cast. I believe his legs, yep, this is all metal down here. His arms, this is all metal, this is all metal. There's a lot of metal. The back of his head is all metal. So they went all out as far as metal bits. If you have some of those Iron Man, there was a stealth release and then the classic release some years ago. I think this has got more metal than those, but it feels like a similar weight. We'll weigh him in a minute against some other Mezco figures and just see how much he comes in at, because I'm curious to see what that is. But what we're going to do now is we're going to use some of these accessories and strike a whole bunch of different poses just to see what he looks like, because he comes with a lot of stuff. Between science and his mystical side, he has a lot of options here. So bear with me, and we'll get some shots going here with some accessories. Before that, though, let's do some articulation. There's been some complaints about this guy with regards to articulation, and I honestly don't see a lot of those complaints just because he's an armored figure. And armored figures always have less articulation. It's just how it is. So if we pull this hood down, which is wired, by the way, the hood is wired, and the cape is also wired on the outside. Not the bottom, though. It'd be nice if they would have wired the bottom. Some of their more recent releases have a wired bottom cape, so I'm not sure why this one missed it. But that's kind of a downer there. But regardless, if we pull this down, his head is on a ball peg, and it goes up pretty good, down. It does, you know, all the sort of rocking you need it to do. It does everything you need it to do. The neck is solid, though. There's no hinge in the neck. And then the arms come up. They can go all the way around. And then the bicep swivels. There's a bicep swivel. And then the elbow is a double jointed, but gives you about 90 degrees. And then the hands are ball hinge pegs, like normal. The hands are not metal. They're the rubbery plastic kind of that Mezco uses. They're really easy to put on, which is nice. And then the chest articulation. There is a separate chest compared to the abdomen, and it gives you some sort of a crunch. Mine's kind of stuck here, but you can rotate them. And then these clasps are magnetized. So it's you kind of got to be careful with this chain here, because it gets kind of messed up if you're not careful. But these are magnetized. The cape can come off, but that magnet kind of holds the cape in place, which is kind of nice. And then the legs, if you fold this up, you can see, if I zoom in here, some chainmail work going on, you know, where you don't see the metal armor. There's some chainmail. And even in his arms, you can see some chainmail there as well. But the legs kick out about 90, which isn't bad. And then there's a double hinge on the knee, but because of the armor impedes going back, it goes back a little over 90. And then the heel, the ankle, has got pretty good rocker for a Mezco figure, and it goes up a little bit, goes down pretty good. So for an armored figure, I honestly don't see a lot of complaints with regards to his articulation. Now, there is a promo shot on Mezco's website of him folding his arms, and I just don't think that is possible. I'm not sure how they did that. They must have popped the arms out of the sockets to do it. But the way this thing is designed, there's no butterfly joint. There's no butterfly joint. So you can't really get his arms to cross. I mean, a little bit. Maybe if you fudge it with some type of picture, you can make it look like he has folded his arms. It's not a bad look right there. So something like that, you can make it look, but farther back, it's not too bad, I guess. It'd be cool if you could have really folded them all the way. But yeah, this is a pretty cool figure. I love the articulation. It's not as bad as many people are saying, I personally feel. So let's go ahead, and what we'll do is we'll change out some of the masks and then strike a few poses with all these accessories. All right, so here's Doom with his book. I'm not sure if I did this right. It was really hard to get on the wrist, and it doesn't want to turn so that he would be looking at the book. It's kind of a weird deal how they made this harness, this plastic piece here. But the book does sit in that plastic piece really well. You can't keep the book open. The book won't stay open on its own, or the pages won't stay open because the pages are real tight. But there's that effect piece. It just goes over his hand, you know, over his fist, or whatever hand you want to use. And that's the modern mask right there. If I zoom in on it, there's the modern mask, which is definitely not my favorite. I prefer a classic look for Doom. But if you kind of get like a shot like that, get that plastic piece out of there, it looks pretty neat. I mean, let's look at the book real quick, because the book is pretty detailed. As I mentioned, it's got a clasp here. You just kind of pull it open, and then it's got pages with a bookmark. All these pages have writing on them, but because the pages are so hard, the book will open. And let's see if it stays here. The book, I think, will stay here. Yeah. So the book does stay. Of course, that ribbon's, you know, the bookmark is popping out. We could put that down, but the book does stay there. So that is pretty cool. Pretty cool detail in that book. I won't display him like this. I prefer Doom with his more science and technology than I do this side of him. But there's an option. So there's Doom holding the book this time. I think this actually looks better. Holding the book and then pulling off this piece, which is designed really nice. It's pretty cool. I bet you get some light behind that. It would probably illuminate pretty good. But yeah, it's a pretty cool look. Again, not the look I'll display with Doom. There's the cape wired, but still, he can strike some really cool poses so far. And here's Doom with his shocker effects. Again, these pieces are connected right to these hands. They're all one piece. You just plug them into the wrist, and boy, that is a cool look. I have the other classic mask on, the angry look. This is the, if I can get to focus, the angry look. Like Doom's like mad. He's like shooting it at Johnny Storm or someone. So that is really cool. Very cool effects there. I like it. All right, here's Victor, unmasked, using his laser finger, which was something that he would use a long time ago, like I think 60s, 70s. Some of those, they had him shooting lasers out of the tips of his fingers. And then here is the other Victor head sculpt, the one who's not so scarred. I think the face sculpt's a little soft, maybe a little shiny. I know sometimes Mezco does really soft sculpts. I think for Doom, it shouldn't have been so soft, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to be displaying him with his mask off anyway. But here's that other effect piece, which looks really cool too, coming out of his fingers. And there's a specific hand for that as well. Almost like Scott's Optic Blast from Cyclops, but done in blue, and for fingers, not for eyes. So man, there's a lot of options of ways you can display Doom. I also have the other belt on. This belt has a part that comes down for a holster, and then this pouch here was added. It's an additional pouch you can put on. You can put those on either belt as well. I will say the belt, I don't like how Mezco is doing belts lately. There's this little tab that this pouch on the right pushes into, and it just doesn't want to stay. I don't know how else they could do it, but I think they need to re-engineer, redesign how they're doing their belts, because they just don't want to stay on. The last few figures I've gotten from Mezco that have belts all have the same issue. So it's a minor thing. If you're playing with the figure a lot, it's going to come off. If you get it on and just have them pose like this in a detolf or something, it'll be fine. But just something they can maybe work on for the future. All right, so this pose took far too long. There's a lot of intricate stuff with this figure, getting all these booster pieces connected, the belt continually falling off. This belt here, I just can't keep on. It keeps popping off where it connects, and I just knocked off one of his things. But these just, they're pliable, and they just go over his hands and arms. But getting all this stuff on without stuff falling off took a lot of time. And on the back here, if I flip him around and pull up his cape, he has these pieces that come out, these booster pieces, which you've probably seen in the comics or maybe the cartoons. And these little pods come out for him to fly, kind of the tech side of Doom. And they're cool. I'm not going to display them this way, but to get those in, you gotta be careful. These are plastic pieces, and a couple of people that had already had theirs break on them or come broken. So I'm being very careful with these boosters. And then you plug in the effect piece, they don't want to stay in very good either. It's a very difficult thing to get this pose like this with all of these on. So if you're going to try this, just have patience. Know that it's going to take a while to get all these effect pieces on, and that stuff's going to fall off. Like the belt will come undone, things like that. It is cool. It looks great though, with him all decked out like this, flying in the air. You know, the cape furled back with that wire on the sides. So it's a really cool look. It's just a difficult process. So we have one final item to look at, and that's the Cosmic Power siphon harness. Let's get that all set up. Okay, so for this, all right, so for this Cosmic Power siphon harness. It's pretty cool. Mezco shows you the types of batteries to get, the LR626, which is nice. I don't remember seeing that in the past because I've bought batteries in the past for these figures when they die, and I've never seemed to get the right batteries. So it's cool they're showing you which ones to get. And then it shows you how to take apart the harness to put the batteries in. So it's not too difficult. If you look here, let me turn this off. On the bottom, there's this piece right here. And then below that is this piece here, which just pulls off. You don't need a little screwdriver. You just pull this piece off, and then the 3 batteries go in there. And then there's an on-off switch, if I can get it. There's an on-off switch right there. You just turn it on, and then you put this piece back in, like this. If I can do this on camera, it's not always easy. And then it locks in place, and then you flip this thing around, and then here's the power button, and then it lights up. Really cool looking, very cool. And then these harnesses connect to the back of his back where the boosters were for flights. And then I put his hands on already. I think it might be easier if his hands are on these controls, and these levers actually move almost like an accordion. If you can see there, it's like an accordion. So hopefully that'll be enough to get those hands on. So I'll get this thing plugged up, and then we'll check them out. All right, so here's Doom with the Cosmic Power siphon harness, all connected, hooked up. You got your 3 lights, you got these purples or pinkish, this yellow, and then a light one that kind of lights up this hologram, this blue display here for him. And it goes on pretty easy. It wasn't too difficult. If I turn these lights off, let's see what we got here. A couple lights. And then this guy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a really cool look. I like it a lot. Again, I probably won't display him with this massive piece, but it's really cool. It plugs in in his back. You're supposed to take the cape off. I left it on. But yeah, for those who don't know what this device is, if I recall correctly, in the comics, like real long time ago, like maybe in the 60s, early on, Doom, I think, either created this or found it, and he used it to harness the power of Silver Surfer, to take his powers, I believe, if I remember. And then he used it again another time to get the powers from Galactus. So Doom is awesome. He is a really cool dude, very smart, intelligent, right? Leader of Latveria. So let me see if I can get him to sit in the throne that I have behind him. All right, here is Doom, and he fits on this throne perfectly. If I zoom in a little bit, let me go a little bit further in here. He fits on this throne excellently. I love it. Even his feet touch the ground. I mean, this is everything I dreamed for when I built this diorama, to have a Doom figure sitting like this. And the Marvel Legends one really couldn't really sit very well because the cape had to come off. But with this one being soft goods, that cape flows behind him. I mean, that is awesome. That's classic Doom right there. Man, this is this is really cool. I'm really geeked. Let's get one with him with a special accessory I bought a couple years ago. All right, here's Doom with a goblet. I got these goblets like on eBay, I think, back when I made this diorama for the Marvel Legends one. But this, even though this figure's bigger, this figure's about 7 inches. That goblet fits great. It looks great. And that is super cool. Look at that. Super cool. I'm ecstatic. I think this figure looks great. I think it's turned out great. There's some finicky stuff with it, like the belt, and a lot of the effect pieces you just gotta take your time putting together. Otherwise, stuff just falls apart. But this is really cool. Let's do some size comparisons. All right, here's Doctor Doom next to Mezco's Darkseid figure. And Darkseid's been my favorite Mezco figure for years, since I got him. Nothing's compared, in my opinion, except maybe Fantastic Four, and then this Doom figure. But Darkseid stands a lot taller than Doom, which is probably accurate. I got Thanos on the way, and I think Thanos is bigger than both these figures. But I mean, Doctor Doom is just a man. He's a human, right? But I thought maybe they'd be a little closer in comparison. But yeah, Darkseid towers over him. Now what I'm curious about is the weight, because Darkseid's polystone, mostly polystone, and Doom is mostly die-cast. So I'm going to get a little scale out, and let's see how much these guys weigh. All right, so Doctor Doom weighs in at 7.7 ounces. I mean, for an action figure, that is significant. That's a hefty figure. 7.7. Let's go ahead and see what Darkseid weighs in at. It's going to be close, I think. Oh, Darkseid's what? What is that? 1 pound, 5 ounces? Yeah, 1 pound, like 1.5 ounces. Wow. So Darkseid's definitely heavier, which, you know, polystone is accurate. But I just thought it would be cool to see the difference in the weight. So 7.7 ounces. Let me double check that again with Doom, just to make sure I didn't miss something. Yeah. Yep, 7.7. So significant. Let's go ahead and grab another Mezco figure that's not metal or polystone. Okay, here's Ben Grimm, the Thing. He is all plastic, no metal or polystone, and he comes in at 12 ounces. So he's a bigger figure than Doom, but you can see there that he's a pretty hefty figure. If we put him next to Doom, let's see the size difference between these two guys here. Actually, wow, I think Doom is taller. Doom is taller than Ben. I know Ben's not the biggest, even in the Thing form. He's not as big as the Hulk, for example. But I really thought Ben would be taller than Doom than what we see here. But anyway, pretty cool. Size comparisons here. I'll probably eventually do some shots for Instagram of this and the dial with Fantastic Four, things like that. But what a great release. Let's just wrap this up. So at the end of the day, is this figure worth it? I think it depends if you like Fantastic Four, if you like Doctor Doom, if you like Mezco a lot. You know, it's not cheap at $155, I think it was, plus shipping. BBTS still has it, so shipping's cheaper through them. I think it's like $4 typically for standard shipping. For me, I absolutely love this figure. It may surpass the Darkseid with time, because I've loved Darkseid for so long. But as a huge Fantastic Four nerd and as a Doctor Doom buff, I am very impressed with his release. You know, Mezco, when that Batman '89 came out earlier, kind of shook my confidence a bit, and a couple other releases this year. But man, between Fantastic Four, the Gotham by Gaslight, and now this, my confidence in Mezco is really up there. So what a cool figure. And, you know, I don't think you watch other reviews about Articulation. I think for what you need to get Doom to do, the poses he needs to make, subtle ones like this, he has all the articulation he needs to make those poses. And if you have a diorama like this in a chair, he can sit in that chair and he can look awesome in Castle Doom. So let me know your thoughts. There's a lot. This is a long review, but it's one of my favorite figures, my most anticipated figure ever by Mezco. I've been waiting 3 years for this thing, or longer actually. And now that it's here, I couldn't be happier. So let me know your thoughts, and we'll see you on the next video.